Hello everyone and welcome to Game 2 in a series between IMMvp versus Slayers MMA here on Terminus. We have MMA spawning as the red Terran player here at the 3 o'clock position. Meanwhile, IMMvp spawning as the blue Terran player here at the 6 o'clock position. I have gotten my pop filter cleaned. A lot of people were informing me how to clean my pop filter, and if I start to get a little buzzed because I am breathing in vodka fumes, my apologies. But then again, that's probably as close to as me doing a drunk cast as some of my fans have requested. I'm breathing in vodka fumes, so right now my breath may blow a .01. Anyways, MMA spawning as the red Terran player here, and we'll see how he tries to recover from, I guess, a failed cheese attempt on Crossfire. It did not look, or it did not go very well at all. You can currently see that MMA currently building a supply depot on the front door. So with the supply depot on the front door, away from the front door, he will be able to get back to mining a little bit more quickly and perhaps pull away with a little bit of an economic advantage, as that SCV is training up a little bit more quickly. And then most likely you should see MMA start that barracks up just a little bit more quickly as well. No, it looks like it is going to be actually started up by MVP. And what exactly is MMA trying to go for? If he goes for a very fast command center, it may work out well, as this is a rather large map. He will have to be able to defend, though, against any Hellion harassment and Banshee harassment, as this SCV now makes its way down. It looks like it will be a 14 command center being built at the low ground. So a very, very aggressive economic expansion here on Terminus, and we'll see how it works out. Now, based upon this, IMMvp, he is not going for any gas right now, so it looks like he's going to be trying to go for a fast command center as well. But unbeknownst to him, his fast command center is actually going to be slower, even though he will start it around, I guess, the 3-minute 30-second mark, as a Marine is not yet trained. It looks like a Marine's not going to be trained until that command center has been started. And very, very interesting strategy coming in from IMMvp, going for a very fast command center. He should be able to saturate his main base rather quickly. But then again, MMA going to benefit from being able to mine with less diminishing returns. His command center is already in position. Should be able to upgrade that to an orbital command rather easily, as I believe this command center still needs a little bit more time. He may end up being supply blocked for a little bit of time. Perhaps, perhaps not. We'll see what's going to be happening. Yes, he is going to be supply blocked for a little bit of time, unless that command center completes within the next 10 seconds. Is it going to be enough? That may actually be enough. So he's not going to be supply blocked, as he is now going into a double racks build and a 1 gas build as well. So a very interesting build here on Terminus, a very aggressive economic build, and it may be able to pull him in the lead. You can see upgrading to an orbital command. That orbital command upgrade is a little bit late since there was a delay on the barracks, but it still doesn't look like he is too far behind. Overall economic advantage, 18 SCVs versus 18. It really is those additional mules that will help out tremendously. 1 extra mule, kind of like having 6 additional SCVs, and the fact that he's able to mine away at the natural expansion already is going to definitely help him. I believe the SCV was able to scout out, and it was able to spot that orbital command already, and now there's not much that IMMvp can really do about it. He only has 1 barracks. If he tries to push any pressure with Marines, he's simply going to fall behind. Now, we'll see how MVP does try to transition. He knows that he can lift up this orbital command very quickly, land it over here, and then start mining away. It looks like he will be doing exactly that, as he doesn't want to fall behind in the economic gain. He will lose a little bit of mining time, as we now see an engineering bay being brought into play by MMA. Bunkers are being placed down. Both players really ready for the essentially long haul game. It turns out, it looks like it will be a macro game, as the scouting SCV here of MMA taken down by IMMvp. I know you can see that, but apparently a lot of you guys out there like me describing what's really going on in the game. A lot of casters out there just say, hey, look at the screen, this is what's happening. I try to show you what's happening on the screen, and also breaking it down, as well as you may be looking at the minimap, and I think I should look at the minimap just a little bit more. Now, MVP is going into the reactor. He is starting that blue flame tech, so the Infernal Pre-Igniter will allow those Hellions to deal a little bit more damage. It will be effective against Marines and those SCVs, but the SCVs, I believe, will still take 3 shots in order to get destroyed. Marines are down over here, a large collection of Marines. 1 a Marine in a bunker here, so that is not going to be able to fend off a lot, as we now see Marines on the move. Back over here, 2 Hellions on the back of the front door as well. MVP now sitting on 29 Harvesters compared to 32, but there are still a lot more Mules in play, as it looks like there will be a medevac drop coming in momentarily. Still a group of Marines, a platoon of Marines ready to shoot down that medevac if it ever comes into play. There is a little bit of sight here, or a group of Marines here, and perhaps opening up and having a supply depot here will help out as well, as there's a lot of gray area to try to cover and make sure that a drop is not happening. Now, it looks like the medevac about to pick up its 4th Hellion, as he's also going into Banshee harassment and Cloak. So IMMvp already getting Cloak and already starting up that Banshee, already has his natural expansion up and running, and these two armies are going to be able, or just simply going to pass each other in the middle of this fight. You can see back over here that medevac is in position. There are 4 Marines. Those 4 Marines are not going to be enough. This is going to be a little bit of an issue, as the medevac is in position here. The Marines do not spot it. The Hellions are now coming in, and this is really bad news. The Marines trying to get some damage onto those units. It looks like the Marines are not stacking up at all. The supply depots could have been raised in order to try to reduce the amount of running area, but the supply depots are still down. I'm not quite sure what this is about, as the Marines are trying to catch up. 1 Hellion has been destroyed, and now these 3 Hellions are just disrupting a lot of mining, if not getting a lot of SCV kills, and it looks like many of those Hellions will be able to stay alive. All of these Marines could have perhaps put pressure on the front door, but there was a bit of SCV repairing love over here on that front door bunker, and that was a well done play, as well as this medevac going to sit off, hide over here, and simply wait to come back in for another drop. It looks like it is going to be dropping over here at the natural expansion. There is a Marine. The Marine did not, could have perhaps spotted that one particular medevac. There is a squadron of Marines, or a platoon of Marines already in position. Are we going to perhaps get a Viking is the key question, as we now see a Banshee running in. MVP has to be very careful. Missile turret about to be completed. 2 quick shots taking down one of those SCVs. Needs to start repairing. It looks like the orbital command doesn't have enough energy just quite yet, as that Cloak is just getting so many kills there. SCV is desperately trying to repair this one turret. The turret looks like it will be completed in just a moment. Are we going to get that scanner sweep? No, it doesn't look like it will come into play at all. And now MMA once again behind, as he is now down 34 Harvesters compared to 46. He does have another expansion up and running already, or he already completed, so he should be able to train up a lot more SCVs and perhaps get back into this game still. 1 Banshee, a low hit point medevac. This Banshee is fresh on energy, and it looks like it's going to be trying to get in more kills back over here. Is it going to now go after, yes, some of those supply depots? The supply depots having a lot of hit points. That was more of a mistake by MVP not continuing to move, and as MVP finally cloaking and perhaps getting some easy kills there, but the Marines grouping together, able to destroy all of those, destroy all that 1 Banshee there. And he did end up using a mule, so a little bit of a trade. But then again, MMA was able to protect the rest of his mineral line. 1 missile turret in the middle of the mineral line. Not quite sure why Terran players decided to do this, especially with Banshees. It makes more sense with Mutalists, as Mutalists have a very short range. But Banshees have that range of 6, so a range of 6 can really cause some problems, as the Banshee was able to get off some damage over here while staying outside of the range of that missile turret. Hellions now looking to push in on this front door. There are still Marines back over here as well. Another missile turret here. Only 5 mineral patches at this 1 missile turret, and a normal Vespene Geyser, as the Marines are finally on the move. Combat shield about to be completed. IMMvp, his macro is just simply beautiful right now, sitting on 54, as more factories are being added and an orbital command is being added as well. Hellions easily finishing off a couple scouting Marines. It looks like 1 Hellion may get taken down, 2 Hellions get taken down, so a little bit of a lucky trade there, as it looks like we are going to be getting some siege tanks as well. So a very large group of Marines plus 1 siege tanks, perhaps waiting for another, but a Marines now coming in for a stim drop, and it looks like a lot of damage will be had. Some Marines are now trying to come back in over here. The medevacs are in position. It looks like both sides are just going to continue this push. The Marines now getting some easy damage here, doing a quick scanner sweep, making sure that nothing much is going on, and this is bad news for IMMvp. IMMvp going to lose a lot of these Marines and SCVs in this battle. Finally, the rest of the groups or units are able to come back in, and MMA able to barely barely escape, down to 48 hit points with this one medevac, as this medevac gonna go back and retreat and regroup. Now, very nicely done. MMA doing the exact damage that he needed to, and now having a significant harvester advantage, 62 compared to 43. Taking a look back over here, it looks as though we are getting a lot more barracks into play as well, currently running off of 6 barracks, also 1 siege or 1 factory, a second factory being added, and now it's going to be a lot of marine tank play as a sensor tower was added in order to gain sight and make sure that no drops are coming in at all. A Viking is on patrol back over here. It looks like a missile turret going to finish off a almost fully loaded medevac. MMA not paying attention and losing a lot of those units. Perhaps trying to do a drop over here first to finish off some of this would have been a little bit more helpful, as now units are coming in on the front door. Siege tanks able to get off a couple quick blasts. 1 siege tank back over here, and the siege time taking so long. Those Marines able to run away once more, as both sides are really trying to figure out what to do. A little bit of a Venn diagram over here as another sensor tower coming in from MVP. So both players will know when a drop is coming as long as they're keeping track of that minimap. Now, 3 siege tanks, or was it 2 siege tanks, and a whole bunch of Marines with only 1 medevac. That is not a good combination. You definitely need more medevacs. A reactor is completed on the starport now. That should help out in the long run in order to allow these Marines to use stim pack a little bit more sparingly. Currently training up 8 Marines at a time. There is also this one tech lab, no Marauders being trained at all, and both sides with rather large armies, but still almost even. 180 food compared to 144, but all of a sudden a nice jump coming in from MMA. So MMA trying to do a bit of a push, and we'll see how successful he will be. The production tab showing level 2 weapons upgrades and level 2 armor upgrades versus level 3 weapons upgrade. I would rather have 2-2 than 3-1. Personally, but especially in a Marine versus Marine battle, as the Marines are not really going to be able to deal as much. But I think ultimately in the end, it really balances out. 2-2 versus 3-1. The only real difference is the time that it takes to tech to tier 2, or 2-2 versus 3-1, as the 3-1 upgrades, or the level 3 upgrades, do generally take 30 seconds longer. There are siege tanks back over here. Both sides are going to be exchanging battles, and now exchanging units. 1 siege tank has been destroyed. Down over here, another siege tank is being destroyed, as MMA trying to skirt this battle and perhaps trying to get off a couple of easy kills over here, and now going to push in on the main portion. These siege tanks are just a little bit too far to deal any damage to those Marines. Back over here, a lot of Marines and SCVs in position, so this expansion, which is nearly completed, is a little bit too forward, and that is going to definitely be a problem, as the siege tanks are currently on the low ground, and now the siege tanks are on the high ground, just splitting up the army. It looks like the missile turret, or sorry, the destructible rocks by this missile turret has been destroyed. The Marines are now simply going to come in and destroy it, and now perhaps get some easy damage onto this orbital command. Missile turret and now Marines, both sides engaging. There's going to be a little bit of a flank here, but it doesn't look very good for IMMvp, as he did not attack and put pressure on both sides of the vice at the same time. 2 medevacs are full on units, and it looks like it is going to be perhaps some drops straight onto Marines. And yes, it is exactly that, as the siege tanks are getting absolutely destroyed. Another round of dropping coming in, and I believe MMA, with very effective drops, is going to take the advantage here. And there is the GG from IMMvp. MMA taking a game off of perhaps one of the best Terran players to come in for StarCraft 2. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.